Hello all, welcome back to my channel Brainy Bunch. Let us continue with our series of Python. In this series, we are going to start a new chapter of control structures. And what are the classifications under control structures? They are selective, repetitive, sequential statements. Let us see one by one with explanations, syntaxes, and definitions. The first one is let us consider why these control structures are used in our programming languages. The first most thing is now most of the beginners would must be wondering what are the control statements. Control statements are nothing but a series of statements that a program follows to get the desired results. That in itself represents that whatever the statements we have written in our program definitely returns some result as an output. Let's first try to understand what are the control statements and why they have formed an essential part of an programming language. You might have used the ATM machine to withdraw the machine, and this is a real life example of we have seen in several times. The thing is, when we try to withdraw money from the ATM machine, that is first what we need to do. What we do is when we insert your debit card, the first where everything is you watch on the screen are the options to choose from the menu. Now you have to perform certain actions, else your card will be turned away after some time. So this is the one condition. The next condition is in case you keep the computer waiting for a long time. The first one and second thing is when you choose to withdraw, you have to provide the correct amount which is required to be withdrawn from the mission. If you provide the wrong amount, the computer will immediately give the message, please enter the correct amount. Let us consider what happened here that the computer has certain instructions that is to be merely followed. It has been ordered to accept only the correct amount and prompt an error message on input of the wrong amount. When you have given the amount that which is not present in your account, it merely gives us an error that please enter a correct amount. This is one such scenario where you can see the use of control statements. Here the condition is when you have entered the amount which is not present in your account gives an error. If you enter the amount which is present in your account gives us a result. So there are two options for a condition for inserting a card and withdrawing money. So this is a real life scenario where the control structure is going to get used in our programming languages or any other uses. So first, what is the definition of a control flow? A program's control flow is the order in which the program's code execute. Let us consider there are many statements in our program such as from n to n plus 1 statements. The control flow starts from the beginning and ends at the end of the program. So this is a form of a control flow. The control flow of a Python program is regulated by a conditional statements, loops, and function calls. As we have seen that in the previous scenario, the condition is we have to enter the correct amount or else it gives us or raises an error. So this is a condition where the ATM machine works on. And so many function calls, etc. So let us see one by one of control structures. Python has three types of control structures as we have seen in the picture. They are sequential, selection, and repetition. Sequential in the sense the statements are to be executed without any condition, that is in the sense in the straight manner. From first statement to last statement, it executes completely whatever the print statements would be. And there is no condition that is opposed on sequential statements to stop their execution in middle of the code. So next one is selection. As we have seen this, the ATM machine has some conditions. That is in the sense selection. If the correct amount is given, the output is returned. If the wrong amount is given, it gives an error. So there is a selection based. So there are selection statements. The next one is repetition. That is, we need to perform a task for a certain period of time until the decision or condition satisfies. So this itself includes selection, sequential, repetition. These are the representations of selection sequence. As we have seen, the first statement to the last statement, the control flow moves on, and the iteration for some this diamond shape includes a condition, and the rectangle is used to represent a body of statements. So till the condition of this satisfies, the body of statements get executed. Once if the condition fails, it goes to the out of the loop. So this is the selection. As we have seen that, let us consider this is the money. If the correct money, if you have entered, it returns as money. If the wrong, it goes to the next, that is else part of the condition. So let us first see a sequential. What are the sequential? Sequential statements are a set of statements whose execution process happen in a sequence. As we have seen that the sequence statements are used to execute each and every line till from the starting and the beginning. So the problem with the sequential statements is that if the logic has broken in any one of the lines, then the complete source code execution will break. Let us consider an example that in the first line I had tried to print an statement like print hello world, and in the second one I had tried to print hello and I did not close the parenthesis. And at the third line I am going to print. So let me show you with an example. Take a new file. So it is an example of sequential. So let us write in a comment line that I am going to execute sequential statements. In the first line, I am going to print hello world. There is no error that I had displayed in my print statement. So the next one is hello. And I did not close the parenthesis and continued with the next line. So let us see, because sequential statements got breaked when the line has an error. So in the third statement, I am going to print a complete one. So let us save me the Python programs, sequential.py with an extension. I'm going to run this program. It has given me that the EOL while scanning a string literal. Let us see here, as I had taken the first statement is a common statement, and the next one is a complete statement that does not give any error to me, because I had followed all the rules to display the print statement. And then the second one, I did not close the parenthesis in order to verify that the statements are going to be interpreted by line. So whatever the syntax error is, EOL is itself represents end of line while scanning a string literal, as I had missed a double quote and then closed parenthesis. So the sequential statement execution has been stopped at the line second. So let us verify, recorrect it, successfully done, Control S, F5. See, it has given me the output as hello world, hello and hello. Because there are no errors in my program, sequentially all the statements got executed. As in before, we have seen that one close parenthesis has been not written. So it has given us an error of syntax error. So sequential statements are the one, if there are any errors between the statements, the execution gets stopped or braked until the error is rectified. So this is the sequential statements. This is some example of sequential statements, like some subtractions. So A equal to 10, 20, B equal to 10, and C equal to A minus B, and equal to is an assignment operator. A minus B is an arithmetic operation where it is performed between two operators. So it gives a successfully subtraction of the amount, because there are no errors between any code of any statement in our program. This itself indicates a sequential statement. And the next thing is selection or decision control statements. Let us consider this ATM machine scenario again, and we have seen that there are two scenarios of one thing getting successful amount and the another thing is getting an error. As in the same way, selection and decision control statements works here right now. Selection or decision are the same category. The selection statement will allow the program to test several conditions. In an ATM machine, we have seen two conditions, but we can use many conditions to check our code and execute instruction based upon which condition is true. As we have seen that the condition is true, we get money. If false, we got an error. In the same way, the selection or decision control statements are going to get work. Again, these selection or decision control statements are divided into simple if else, nested if elif else. If else, elif are also keyword or keywords that are predefined. These are used in our control statements as okay. Let us see first one with simple if. The simple if. An if statement is written by using the if keyword. As I had said that if is an keyword that is used in our control structures of decision or selection. Let us see the syntax. This would be the shorthand notation that in the one line we are going to complete our simple if. And this is the one we are going to complete in several lines of second syntax. The syntax first, what we see that what is the syntax of simple if. Simple if is followed by a condition and the colon is compulsory for every condition. So for every control structure, we need to follow these rules. Whatever the statements we are going to write, if the condition satisfied, these statements would execute it. And this is the second representation. So that is variable assignments. We can assign any variables with some values. If and again condition followed by colon. And if a condition satisfied, these statements would execute. And these are the n+1 statements. If the condition doesn't satisfy, it goes to the n+1 statement that are outside the block. As I had said that the indentation should be followed. So one white space should be done. Simple if syntax. As we have seen that if the condition satisfies, it goes to the conditional code and execute the statements whatever they are at there. If the condition is false, it goes to the n+1 statement that is at the termination point. So let us see this example same. Take an ideally file. Let us take a new file. And now I'm going to write a simple if example. In both shorthand notation, in both normal notation, let us see. Shorthand notation. Let us take first a equal to 10. I'm going to compare that a value a is 10 is assigned to a. Let us check that the a value is greater than 10 or not. So I am going to write an if the condition is a greater than, let us check a is greater than 0 or not. And the colon is specified. Indentation automatically it takes a white space and then returns to us. So print true. If the condition doesn't satisfy, then let us write again one statement false. So if the condition a greater than true, a greater than 0 satisfies, it returns to us true, or else it goes to the interpreter checks and goes to the n+1 statement that is print of false. Let us save and run this. In the Python programs, simple if dot py shorthand note. As I had said the shorthand notation, so it has given me true false because a equal to 10 means 10 is greater than 0. It has given me true. And the next thing is it has given me false even because false is out of the block. Here let us see print is the one statement that is inside the block, that is if is one of the condition statement, and print is the statement within the block, and print of false is the statement out of the block because it has given me even false also. Whatever the statements within the block got executed, and the statements out of the block are also get executed. This is not the shorthand notation, and this I will show you the shorthand notation. So this is only the statement that I am having. let me move it to the back. And this is a shorthand notation. That is only in the one line we are going to write our condition and we are going to write our print statements. Let me run this. And this also even runs successfully because there is no chain. So it has given me true. So this is simply in the one line we are going to complete our simple if declaration or conditions. So this is shorthand notation, and normal representation we have all even seen. Now we are going to see if and else. Let us see. The if else statement evaluates the condition and will execute the body of if the condition is true. As we have seen that the condition is true, the body of is if gets implemented or executed. But if the condition is false, here in the simple if, it is going to terminate the execution. But if the condition is false, the body of else is gets executed. That is, we can write our statements both in if condition and in the else condition. In the shorthand notation, in the same way we can use here, that is condition, statement, else, statement. And this is shorthand notation, and this is the one we can expand our syntax, that is called as if condition, and whatever the statements that to get executed if the condition satisfies are written to be here. And the else block, these are the statements that are written in the else block. So this is called as if else. So this is the diamond one, is used to represent a test expression or Boolean conditions or something. If true, it goes to body of if false, it goes to body of else. And together both goes to a termination after completion of block statements printing. So let us take the same example, Control C, and take a new file. So this is the one we are using, if else. If else, okay, if else program. And let us copy the same what we have taken. So if is having one statement and print, I am going to give anything. A is greater than B. Okay, this is completed. If my program to test it has been successfully completed or not, let us print another statement like print completed. So what I had taken is here is A equal to 200, B equal to 33. So these are the two statements of variable assignments, and this is the condition. Whenever the value of B is greater than A, it should be written to me B is greater than A in a words, or else it should be written A is greater than B. So here A equal to 200 and B equal to 33. So 33 greater than 200. It is false. Then the cursor obviously goes to the else part, and whatever the statements in the else part gets executed. So let us save this as if else dot py f5. So it has given me that A is greater than B. That is, it has given me the statement which is in the else part, because B value 33 is less than 200, in the sense that A is greater than B. So it has given the else part, whatever the statements that are present in the else block got executed. And finally, the n+1 statements also got executed because it is not under any block. That is, it does not indentate it. So here indentation must be followed compulsory for every control structure, whatever the statement that you are going to write in your block. This itself shows the user what are the statements that are specified under some conditions and other conditions. This is the print statement that is specified under this condition, and this is the print statement that is specified under the else block. This shows us the user to understand easily and notify what are the statements which belongs to a particular block. So this itself represents our if else. And the next one is nested if. When we want to compare more than two values, let us consider whenever we want to find a value greater than from three values. That is, we need to check A greater than B, A greater than C, okay, and B greater than C, B greater than A. So these are the four conditions that we need to check whether what is the number that is greater than in all three numbers. So nested if are the statements where one if statement is present or represented in another if statement. So let us see the exam syntax representations, as this is common if condition statements. And next if condition, that is nested if, is also indented under the first if condition. So this else is this nested if else one, and this is the else, that is outer if condition. So we need to consider this is the outer if and this is the inner if. So nested if is treated as one if statement is presented in the another if statement. So this is the flow chart. Let us see the work of nested if. This is a start. If the condition that is satisfied right now at here, it goes to the inner if condition and then checks whether there the condition gets true or not. So this is, if this condition satisfies, it goes to the inner condition. If this condition not satisfied, it directly goes to the outer else and execute the statements whatever it is having in the block. So if the condition satisfies, it goes to the inner if condition, and if inner if condition has got successfully satisfied, so it executes the statements of inner if statements or else false statements. Finally, the cursor moves to the end of the program when the statements if few are completed. So let us consider some small example like x equal to 41. If the first outer if condition is telling that if x is greater than 10, it should has to be print above 10. Oh, sorry. And this statement should not be here right now. So if next if condition is to be if x greater than 20, as 41 is greater than 20, so it should give us a print and also above 20. So let us see this statement by programming by executing. Let us take a new file for nested if. The first line of comment, nested if. Let us copy the program. Okay. And here there is no else now. Print completed. Successfully, this is the n+1th statement that is not specified under any block. So this is the one that we had taken nested if, whereas if x greater than 10 is the outer if condition, if x greater than 20 is the inner if condition. So x equal to 10, any value, x equal to 40, let us consider. So 40 greater than 10 and it prints above 10, and again 40 greater than 20. So it also, the condition has been satisfied. So and also about 20 it prints us. If the condition here not get satisfied, it prints print about 10 and but not about 20. So let us first run this, and the next the false one we will see. Nested if f5. See what it had given to me, as we have taken the value of x equal to 40. So it has first the outer if condition satisfied, that is x greater than 10. So it has given me above 10. And the next inner if condition, x greater than 20. So it also has given me that and also about 20. And it has means the cursor has returned to the last n+1 statement successfully. Now let us see what when our condition doesn't satisfy, that is inner if condition, outer if condition has not satisfied the value. So let us see x less than 10. So x equal to 40, 40 less than 10. It should be printed only completed, because when the outer if condition is not satisfied, that is it has given to us false, then the cursor should not enter into the inner if condition. So let us save and run this. Remember, we need to get an output that is completed, because outer if condition doesn't satisfy our need. So it has given me only completed because outer if condition has not satisfied the condition because the 40 is not less than 10. So this is an example of simple nested if. The next one is if elif else. As we have seen the switch statement, switch control structures in C, C++, which is used to check multiple test conditions. Whereas in Python, we use if elif else for multiple check conditions. Let us see the flow chart. This is the condition. Whenever it is true, it goes to implement the body of if. If it is false, it goes to the inner elif. It means it is checking the conditions line by line where the actual assignment that we have done to the variable gets satisfied. So as in the switch, whatever the variable or character that matches to our given input and the output, it checks and returns the statements in the separate block. So this is the syntax: if condition, elif condition. Again, if the condition of outer if is doesn't satisfy, it goes to the elif condition. If these two statements or conditions doesn't satisfy our present one, it goes to the else and execute the state block of the statements present in the else. So this is an example. Let us see this briefly. Let us take a new file. Control V. See, as we have seen that this is an example of if elif else. Same as like switch control structures in other programming languages like C and C++. So see here, 15 is the value that I had assigned to the variable x and 12 is the value that I had assigned to the value variable y. The first if condition is saying that if the x and y are having the same values, we need to get both are equal. Then the second condition is saying that when the value 1, x is greater than y, it should return as x is greater than y. If these two conditions are not satisfying the values, so automatically it returns the statement which is present in the else block. So it is in the sense till the condition is satisfied, the control or cursor checks each and every if and if conditions. If and elif conditions are not satisfying or not, it has given false, automatically the else part gets executed. Let us see here, x value is 15. 15 is equal to 12, false. So the statements in the if block are not get executed. So elif x greater than y, 15 greater than 12. Obviously, this is the correct one and the condition has satisfied successfully. So the interpreter returns us to x is greater than y. So let us save and check. The second one it gives, it is an if elif else dot py and fi. So it has given to us that x is greater than y. So the second condition has satisfied, x is greater than y is the one that satisfied the condition. So it has printed the statements which are present in an elif block. Okay. This is an if elif else block, and these are the classifications under a selection or decision making. Let us continue our repetition control structures in our next video. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Please do like, share and subscribe.